Hey up, fellas. So, yeah, hi. Welcome to Mortal Kombat 11. It's very nice down here, I promise. It's great. But, you know, you're probably wondering why MK11's on the screen right now, aren't you? Well, if you are, then you probably don't know what Restands are, because they're in fighting games, and I'm about to explain them, because not everyone knows what a restand is, and it's crucial for today's video. So, a restand is basically giving up optimal damage in order to gain a frame advantage or pressure of some description after the punish or combo has fully finished. So, I have Cabal here, and I must admit, not exactly the world's best Cabal player, so do excuse me. But, as an example, I'm going to be using his restand, which I don't remember the name of. I think it's Extended Hook, yes, it's called Extended Hook. And let's say Spawn over here does something that is -8, right? So he does something -8, I block it, then I punish it with a 7-frame poke. So I do a very, 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 very simple combo, because I know nothing about Cabal, and I do this, right? That's all well and good, but that does 20% damage, and if I really wanted, I could have blocked his -8 string, and I could have gone for this instead. As you can see, that does 194, and he's still standing. He's not fallen over, right? So what does this mean then? Because, you know, I've just done less damage, so what's the advantage of punishing with something else instead? Well, as you can see in the bottom left, it says hit advantage 2. That means that I recover 2 frames faster than Spawn does, okay? Now, in this game, let's say I want to apply pressure to the Spawn, right? So what I would do is I forward to 2. This reaches from this range, and it's a 12-frame mid, so he can't duck this. He has to contest it with a poke or something. Here's the problem, right? Let's get him at the range that he would be at, so, he's at this range, right? Let's control Spawn. 7-frame move, can't beat it. This 10-frame move can, right? So he has to specifically use this in order to contest Cabal's stand 2. But even then, it's still just a trade. He doesn't even win it, he just gets a trade-off. What he instead has to do is block. He has to block whatever the Cabal does. And Cabal has some pretty nasty 50-50s. I don't think I have the correct variation for it, but Cabal can do this, and as you can see, it's an overhead. So I could do this into the one where he attacks low with his hook swords. I don't remember the name of it. But if I was to have the correct variation, I could do this into an overhead / low. I could do nasty things like dash cancelling, which is something like that, and then I could throw or something. I don't know. So how does this relate to For Honor then? Well, as you probably know, there are certain characters with sort of specific punishes, right? So you'll throw them to the ground, and Yorm will do his big dance and do 50 damage. Centurion will do his big 42 damage, stuff like that. But what if you were to not go for that and instead go for a light into something and then sort of throw mix-ups at them to potentially get higher damage and, you know, sort of squeeze a bit more damage out of a punish? Well, that's what I'm going to be discussing today. So I'll meet you in For Honor. So let me explain what I mean. Let's turn the opponent's stamina off. And let's say I get a guard break on this bitch, and I throw her. Instead, I do this, right? Which actually does more damage than the normal punish, right? This does 42, but I just did 45. So this does more damage, but obviously they just parry the unblockable, right? Well, here's the thing. If I instead mix it up, then I can squeeze out a fuck ton more damage. So I'm thinking, would this be worth it, like, ever? And I'm thinking Centurion is probably the biggest offender here. I think he could use this the most. Could you potentially say, I don't know, instead of going for this, go for a light to unblockable, and then even, like, doing a punch afterwards, which adds another layer. So you could do this to this, then you can do this. This is one mix-up, and then the punch afterwards is another mix-up. And then after that, you get even more damage, right? So, really, I think this is actually a really good strategy, and I think Centurion should think about this a little bit more often. Instead of just going for the normal, just Eagle's Dive, just, you know, one day think of the idea of literally 100 to 0ing somebody who happens to be out of stamina by just doing this to them. And just messing them up, like, you know. So it's, you know, just a very short video here of showcasing maybe an idea. Let me know if it's dumb, let me know if it isn't, let me know if it's like a proper thing or not. Seeing a bit, that's all I really have to say. Just Restands in For Honor in it. Can you health bar get out of the way, please? Thank you.